What's going on, you dirty little scoundrels? So I haven't had a legit EJ STI in my life in a long time, actually, since Karma. Was Karma the last EJ STI I've had? I had the hatch, but that was a WRX. I don't really think that counts. So we're bringing our 07 STI back to life. So if you don't know too much about this car, I bought this off my buddy Justin for $8,000. Had a blown motor, heads were destroyed. I was really hoping those heads weren't gonna be destroyed, but the heads were destroyed, motor was blown, the car's kind of beat, it's been repainted. I'm gonna try to save the paint job that's on the car, but you know, we're gonna save that for a little bit later. Right now, I wanna get the motor built for this thing. So I haven't touched this car in quite a while, and we went ahead, we assembled our short block here. We got our water pump on, timing belt tensioner bracket, oil pump on. This car is essentially going to become a, what is the word when you fix something that's old, not refreshed? I don't know, I guess a refreshed 07 STI. It's gonna be damn near brand new. Now I kid you not when I say everything about this is going to be brand new. Aside, just not like the short blocks, not like we're just putting a short block in this car or anything like that. Literally everything. Everything down, this is a brand new sensor, brand new crossover tubes, hoses, short block, brand new cylinder heads, brand new cam gears, oil control valves, gaskets, cam gears, coil packs, fluid damper, Company 23 goodness. Literally, I kid you not, everything about this car is gonna be brand new. We have a brand new power steering rack down here, brand new OEM power steering pump. We've got stuff for the internals, brand new engine harness. Everything about this thing is going to be brand new. Mechanically wise, I'm obviously not replacing everything on the car. Now we are still flaring the car. Don't judge it too much right now because there's nothing on the rear. Thankfully, Carlton did follow through on their promise and they did send over a new set of rear flares for the 07 STI. So I already mocked them up. They definitely do fit. For the wheels, we are taking the white Reg Masters that are on the RX-7, getting new tires, and then these Reg Masters are gonna go on the STI. The new wheels for the RX-7 show up at the end of this week, so I'm gonna get some tires ordered for this thing. We're gonna have to play wheel and tire mismatch between these two. So we're not even gonna mess with that stuff right now. All we're gonna be doing is turning our short block here into a long block that's timed and ready to go into the car. So on the table, let's do a quick rundown. We have a set of NGK 2309 spark plugs, brand new OEM Subaru coil packs, fluid damper, Company 23 timing belt kit, RCM alloy camshaft EJ pulley kit right here. They're exhaust cams, alloy exhaust cams, gasket seal kit, OEM brand new AVCS intake cam gears, oil control valves, FU cam bolts, IAG stage 1 cylinder heads with a set of GSC S1 cams in there. Normally I always build my own heads, but I didn't have any for this because the ones that I pulled off were scrap. So we have a set of beautiful IAG ones here. So I've shown you guys how to put these together enough. I'm not gonna go over step by step, but we're gonna go over it and just let's build an engine. Now, before we get into all that, I do want to give a massive shout out to the guys over at Rally Sport Direct. They are a huge supporter on this build of helping me bring back this 07 STI back to life and keep it out of a scrap yard. So if you guys are looking to order any parts, use our discount code Smeedia over at Rally Sport. Save yourself 10% on a lot of parts. So save yourself some coin, get you parts, get you whatever you need. Give the boys over at Rally Sport some love. Now let's put an engine together. So we gotta pull the cams out of this guy. Pop our cam cap off. Dude, yeah, I love EJs, man. This is just second nature to me at this point. That's some really good assembly lube on there. That's thick. All right, so we got our cams right there. To show you guys the difference, your intake cam has these notches on it, and for single AVCS, it's going to be longer. If you look at the exhaust cam right here, there's no notch on the backside and it's shorter, so keep that in mind. So now that we got that, I don't want my buckets to fall out, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just kind of set it up like this. Keep an eye on them, make sure none of them are falling out. They're like, no, they ain't going anywhere. We're gonna clean this surface with some brake cleaner real quick. We're gonna clean the mating surface on the cylinder head, on the engine, get our head gasket on, then we go ahead and get our heads on there. This is just a Type RA short block, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, but just a OEM Type RA short block. The whole goal for this car is a fun daily. Not even a daily, just a fun street car, like 400 wheel, just to be able to enjoy it. I miss having like a fun EJ in my life. And yes, those who were asking, we are running unequal length headers on this because so many people requested it. So unequal length. So even though it's a new engine, you still get crap on there. So toss a head gasket on. OEM Subaru head gasket. Make sure the oil port lines up with the oil port. Slide that guy on. Let me wipe down the cylinder head. We'll get that on. I grabbed the wrong fucking cylinder head. What am I doing? Oh, so let me flip this around. I totally just did this backwards. That brand new engine, brand new heads. I'm about it. Get some ARP lube on the threads, get our washers on, our nuts on, and we can torque this side down, get our cams and everything. We are gonna double check lash. They did bench lash these, so which means they bolted the head down to a bench. They could have done it to a block for all I know, but they bolt these down, they get valve lash set. So I just want to double check it. Should be 8 thou plus or minus 1, 10 thou plus or minus 1. First time I've ever had brand new heads. It's kind of fun. Everything's like clean. Normally whenever I build these, they're always like used, dirty, nasty heads. I very rarely get the opportunity to use some like nice, clean heads. Especially brand new ones, let alone. I think I am missing the valve cover gasket on this side, so I think I'm gonna have to go down to Subaru tomorrow and grab one. Unless I have a spare, I might. I do want to check valve lash on this real quick, just to be safe. Beautiful. So I'm gonna put a little bit of assembly lube on the cam lobes, then I'm gonna dig around and see if I have a valve cover gasket for this side. I know I gave the one away that I had in this gasket and valve kit. I fucking love doing EJs. EJs are like, you know, they're my jam. I like my jam. We have our cylinder heads on, and I've gotten a lot of the accessories on. So you guys saw we got our cam seals in. I use the Company 23 tool for those. It just makes life way easier. I got our coolant lines on. I replaced literally all the hoses for all of the coolant lines because I wanted everything fresh. I don't want to have to deal with leaks on this thing. I want this thing to be very reliable to the point where I don't have to really stress or worry about anything. So everything for the most part is fresh, brand new dipstick tube. The only things I didn't get that were new were the water pipes coming up, which I kind of regret. I kind of wish I did, but I just didn't want to spend the $100 on it. So now we're kind of at the point of the timing covers. But one big thing I want to mention is if you're doing this at home, before you put the left-hand passenger or the left-hand timing cover on, make sure you get this oil line on, because if you don't get this oil line on, you put the timing cover on, you time the car, you're gonna have to untime it, put the timing cover on, or take the timing covers off, and then put this line on, then redo it all again. So I've made the mistake. I'm just gonna double check that is tight one more time. Then I'm gonna get the rear timing covers on, we'll get our cam gears on, and then we can get this thing timed, get it ready to go. Good rule of thumb, make sure that you have all your oil lines on before trying to do anything else. So that way you're able to snake them in and get everything where it needs to go. So there we go. Now I can actually bolt that down. On these GD chassis, they're single AVCS, so I like to use these RCM Cam Gears on these. They're a nice little addition to ensure that you don't have any failures, because the plastic ones have a tendency with high heat to kind of disintegrate over time. So these are well worth the upgrade in my opinion, just for an extra measure of security. The RCM goodies are top tier in my opinion. The other thing is replacing your AVCS gears whenever an engine goes through an engine failure. Because if you don't, what can happen is metal can get stuck inside of these clovers here. And then as this actuates, it can send that metal back through the engine, through these oil lines, and take out your brand new motor, which I don't think anybody wants to happen, but you know, who am I to tell you how to live your life? The other really nice upgrade to do are these FU cam bolts. Some of you guys might not mind having those 10mm Allens. I much prefer these 17mm hex heads. It just makes life so much easier when it comes to just taking these on and off. Like I guess if you're only doing it once, you don't really have to worry about it, but after doing these so many times and having to drill those out, I hate it. So the guys at Company 23 were nice enough to send over their timing belt kit. They're kind of cool. It's got their Company 23 logo on everything. We got a belt and all the pulleys. So we're gonna get this engine timed. I'm gonna go ahead and set up timing on this side, line up our timing marks. On these two cam gears, line these two up, get all the pulleys on except for this bottom one here. Get the timing set on this so that way we can get the belt on. We'll pull the tensioner pin and then we'll let it sit for about 5-10 minutes, let that tension kind of go through. Spin it over a couple times, verify our timing. If it's good, we'll put our timing belt tensioner on, or timing belt retainers up here, and then from there we can go ahead and get the covers on, the fluid damper, and then we got a built long, or semi-built long block ready to go. So I kind of already have all the timing marks where they need to be. We got our crank lined up with our oil pump. We have our upper cam gear lined up with the timing cover, the lower cam gear lined up with the timing cover. We'll go ahead and put our tensioner on. A lot of people get confused by the timing marks on the belt, thinking that when they check their timing, they're going off the marks on the belt. That's not true. You're always gonna verify your timing off of the marks on the gears. The belt is just a reference for install, so just keep that in mind. So the dotted line will go right there on the crank. Bring this guy down and around. Bring that up on top of the pump, around this cog gear. A lot of people get confused by Subaru timing too. There's no need over there. All the slack on the belt is kind of down here on the bottom, and we need to be a little gentle here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that. Weird. With fluid dampers, you gotta cut off this ring that goes around the front of the timing cover. So we're just gonna come in and kind of chop her up. There we go. Then I'll grab my whirly bird, we'll clean that up, and then our fluid damper will fit right over that. You just gotta cut it off because fluid damper sits back a little bit farther on the timing cover, so you wanna make sure that it'll fit properly. Fit, which you should now. You do, beautiful. We have our engine pretty much ready to go in the car. I do need to go down to Subaru tomorrow and get a valve cover gasket for this side, so I'll run down there. I wanted to test fit with the Cosworth intake manifold. Dude, it looks so good on here. Dude, it just looks like such a fresh engine. I mean, I guess it is just a fresh engine, technically speaking, but I'm happy with it. So I have these little covers coming for the AVCS solenoids. I had to order the gasket and the covers. I have those coming from Flatirons. I have wanted this intake manifold on one of these for the past 10 years, and they've always been crazy expensive, so I'm so hyped to finally have a Cosworth. Even if it is a second run of them, dude, it looks, I honestly prefer it with the black. I think it looks better. So we have our EJ. We've got an RA short block. We've got IAG stage 1 heads. The heads come with GSC valves, IAG valve springs with titanium retainers, GSC Viton valve seals. We have a set of GSC S1 cams, OEM buckets. This thing should do some work. Now, we're only running, now there's a couple things I did with this engine intentionally to limit myself, because you guys know me, I know me. I'll tell you all day that I only want 400 horsepower out of this car, and then I will do everything in my power to make it be able to make more power. That's not necessarily the case this time. I only have ID 1050s to be able to limit fuel flow. We have a Grimspeed BB500, which will also limit us a little bit. So there's a couple things I've done to try to limit what this engine actually will and can do. So we have some really good flowing heads, a really good flowing intake manifold. We have a lot of people requested unequal length, so we have a set of Tome's unequal length headers going on this thing. So it should sound good at HKS catback, Cobb downpipe. Very excited for this thing. It's gonna have the flares. It's gonna look the part. It's gonna sound the part. It's gonna perform great. I'm hyped for it. So that should be all I got for you guys on this one. Like I said, I'll run out, because we're doing daily uploads. So we will run down to Subaru tomorrow, go pick up the valve cover gasket, get that in there. We're gonna get the STI up on the lift, get the RX-7 off, and then we're gonna start doing some of the power steering stuff. Like I said, I have a brand new power steering rack for it, power steering pump, all that fun stuff. I would like to repaint the engine bay, but we'll kind of see how that goes. We have gauges to install. We have a ton of stuff going on, but I wanted to get the engine done so that way the engine was ready to go in the car when the time came. So that way we're not having to build the engine later. Plus, I mean, building engines, I enjoy it. It's kind of soothing until, you know, we'll just say it's soothing. So with that, that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you guys are hyped for the 07 STI build, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed already and you want to be, I'll put it in one of these corners. No idea which one quite yet. But with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies.